All right. All right. No shenanigans this time. Let me pull this up. Um, all right. Not happy. Not happy at all. Phillies lost 2 out of 3 to the Marlins. And I already know the title to this episode: Death, Taxes, Painful Losses to the Marlins. Uh, I there was a point in time where I thought the Phillies figured out how to beat the Marlins. Um, you know, Bad series, should have been 2 out of 3. But baseball happens. Phillies are 4-8. Um, I'm not ready to hit the panic button yet. And I'll tell you why. Everybody remembers the mantra for last year. Phillies were 21-29, went to the World Series. So, like, yes, it's annoying. It's frustrating. We know how talented this team is. We know what they can do. We know what their aspirations are, but they're just not executing. They're making mistake after mistake after mistake, especially with the base running that has cost them. Um, you had the bad base running in Sunday's game in the rubber match against the Reds. You had bad base running everywhere in this series. So that's just one thing that they have to work on. But we're gonna get back to it. I want to um yeah, we're gonna get to it. So game one was the only game that brought me any sort of happiness. The Phillies won 15-3, and believe it or not, I did not expect looking at the pitching matchup of Matt Strom versus Sandy Alcantara to if somebody told me one pitcher is going to give up 9 earned runs and the other is going to go 5 shutout, I would have bet all the money in my bank account that it was Sandy that went 5 and Matt Strom that gave up 9. That being said, no, Phillies hung 9 on Sandy Alcantara, and you can kind of tell throughout that entire game. At least to me, it felt like Sandy didn't have control of his pitches as he usually does. It felt like, obviously, I only watch Sandy Alcantara starts when he plays the Phillies. So I can't really tell what kind of pitcher he usually is, what his kind of deal is. For example, like, when you see a Ranger Suarez start, he's going to pound the strike zone. Here's my stuff, hit it. And now I'm saying the same thing about Matt Strom. But it felt like he was nibbling a little bit at the strike zone. He wasn't attacking. It just felt like his stuff was off a little bit. And the Phillies took advantage of it. Before the game, Gene Segura got his championship ring, and it was really great to have him back in Citizens Bank Park. And I'm glad he didn't come to haunt us yet. I'm not ready to say. I even texted Matt Saporsky during today's game when Gene came up late with the runner in scoring position. I said, I'll bet $100 that Gene Segura gets a hit here just because, but luckily he didn't. So it was nice to see him. The Phillies fan gave him a really nice ovation. But to the third inning is when all the fun started. Jake Cave hit a solo home run, absolute moonshot. I had hit off the facing of the second deck. Mr. Spring Training is really coming through. Bryson Stott, I have some notes about him. He's just unbelievable right now. He's just tearing the cover off the ball. Had another multi-hit game. Just he's been that dude. He was batting leadoff today. Well, not well. He did bat leadoff today, but what am I looking for? Yes. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was looking through my notes to make sure this was the lineup that stop at leadoff. He's a perfect leadoff hitter. Doesn't strike out. Works great at bats. Hits the ball, like just everything you want. And the reason I like Stott staying in the leadoff spot is because if you go Stott, Turner, Schwarber, first of all, it breaks up the lefties. And yes, having 2 lefties at the top of your lineup is dangerous late in the game in case, they bring in a lefty in high leverage spots. But Stott is hitting 50 points better against lefties than righties in his career. So there's that. But point is, Stott takes a lot of pitches, works really good at bats. Turner kind of And then Schwarber. So by the time a pitcher could get to the 4 hole, pitcher could be at like 20, 25 pitches, if obviously everything we, depends, but I like Stott batting leadoff. And then the barrage happened. Coming back to the game, the barrage happened in the 3rd inning. You had a Trey Turner RBI single, Castellanos RBI double, which Castellanos, this homestand, I'm ready to say he's back. Like Nick Castellanos is back to being Nick Castellanos. Like the cockiness, the doubles. He now leads Major League Baseball in doubles, which is great. And he's played like pretty solid defensively. Yes, he had that miscue on Sunday in the Reds game, but like he had another outfield assist today. It just feels like he is back. He changed his stance a little bit. I love what Casty's doing right now, and I will harp on that. I know my past 2 like TikToks and Instagram posts about when I show the little preview for the podcast has been about Nick Castellanos, but that's just how blown away I am by him. But Casty hit a double, and then Alec Boehm RBI single to make it 5-0. The Phillies had 6 hits and 5 runs in the 3rd against Sandy Alcantara. Casty in the 5th inning, RBI, Boehm another RBI, Marsh RBI double. The Phillies actually batted around twice in this game, which is why Matt Strahm only went 5 innings. He had a very, very limited pitch count. But the reason Rob Thompson said was because the waiting, those, the sitting, he didn't want to let him out there. So I kind of understand that. Then Nick Castellanos had another RBI in the 6th. Alec Boehm hit a 3-run home run, and then Lori Gurriel, loser, hit a home run to ruin everything. And then you had a wild pitch by Vasquez to make it 13-2. Garrett Cooper had an RBI single in the 7th to make it 13-3. And I was getting annoyed. Christian Pache, we'll get to him. Yeah, I'm going to make a note to myself to talk absolute smack about Christian Pache once we get to game 3. Because I have had it. Pache Slander. I just put, no, that's game 2. Sorry. Wait, did I put the wrong? Wait. Did I? Hold on. Oh, I just labeled it the wrong thing. My bad. Sorry. Pache Slander. In my notes, I have like game 1, game 2, game 3, and I marked game 2 twice. Like I called game 2 or game 3, game 2. So that's why I was very confused. Pache had an RBI single. And then this is the whole reason. And Marsh hit a solo home run. 15-3 final. This is why I think Casty is back, is because he's getting multi-hit games. He's kind of driving the ball a little more. And he got ejected in the 7th inning. There was a ball that was inside, and he put a little dot on the thing, and the umpire threw him out. And that's just the stuff that I thought we were getting with Nick Castellanos when we signed him. And then we're finally seeing that a year later, which is just awesome to see. Some other notes from this. Brandon Marsh just needs to play every day against left-handed pitching. He's been excellent against lefties. Like, he's been excellent all year, but he's been exceptional against left-handed pitching. So I don't really understand Rob Thompson's standpoint of Pache against righties, or excuse me, Pache against lefties and Marsh against righties. I really don't get it, especially because how dreadful Pache is offensively. I don't understand it. So hopefully Rob Thompson will just let the leash off and go, here you go. Because as of right now, Christian Pache needs to be a defensive replacement only. That's it. The guy does not know how to hit. He swings at the first pitch all the time. And for some reason, key moments always find Christian Pache, and I don't get it. I don't understand the infatuation. And yes, I understand that in order for him to get better, he needs time out there. But you need time in the cage with Kevin Long in order to figure out that swing, because I think there's a good player in there. He was a top prospect for a reason. I think there's a good player in there. But as of right now, Christian Pache is not starting in a game for me. He is going to be a defensive replacement only. That's it. End of story. back to it. McKinley Moore made his major league debut, so congratulations for him. He had a really good spring training. He went an inning and a third, 1 hit, 3 earned runs, 3 walks, and no strikeouts. So he was fine, like he's never pitched really above AA. So to take that jump and face major league hitting and do fairly well for yourself, I liked a lot. For those of you who don't know, we got McKinley Moore in the Adam Hazley trade at the beginning of last year, when we shipped Hazley to the White Sox. So he looked fine, he was pumping like 95, 96, 97. He's just he's a dude, I wasn't mad at him. And then you had Garrett Stubbs with a potential injury, and we came to find out later it was a bit of a hamstring thing, but he said he's fine. He was not coming out of that game. Rob Thompson said, Garrett Stubbs said, "I'm not coming out of this game," and Thompson's like, "Do not run unless you absolutely have to." You could see it, but Garrett Stubbs said he's fine. He's probably going to start, some game in the Red Series coming up, obviously, because you don't want JT catching 4 straight days, and JT has just been dreadful, so it's kind of a void at catcher right now. But yeah, so that I took note of. I'm trying to see first game. Cody Clemens went 0 for 5. He finally today got his first hit as a Philly, which I'm very high on Cody Clemens. I like what I see out of him. And I think the reason the Phillies targeted him is because of the makeup of Maton in terms of the batting stance. So I think he can get there. Maton right now is not off to a great start in Detroit, but that being said, Detroit's one of the worst teams in baseball. But hey, so are we. So in terms of pitching, you had aforementioned Matt Strahm, 5 innings, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts. Matt Strahm has been excellent. I did put in, is Matt Strahm this year's version of the 2021 Ranger season that we saw, where Ranger had like a 1.7 ERA and 100+ innings pitched, and he was kind of a everywhere guy. He was the piggyback of Spencer Howard. He was the closer, and then he was a starter. Like, is Matt Strahm going to be that guy this year? It certainly looks like that. Like, Matt Strahm is out there just pumping the strike zone. Here's my stuff, hit it. And I love that about him. And I even loved, and I mentioned this 2 podcasts ago, that he said, "I'm not a reliever. I'm not a starter. I'm a pitcher. Like, put me wherever and I will do the best job I can." I've loved what I've seen from Matt Strahm so far. He's cool. He's calm. He's collected out there, except if he makes a mistake, he's talking to himself, which I love psychopath pitchers. Like, I love that. And that's why I like hate Max Scherzer, because that guy's a psycho, but I can never root for him. He was with the Nats. I only got to root for him for a few months when he was with the Dodgers. Now, obviously, he's on the Mets, but I love like psycho pitchers, and Matt Strahm is our psycho pitcher. He's out there, he's talking to himself. So it's just something to keep in mind. So I can look back on this and be like, God, Jared, you're so smart. You know exactly what you're talking about. You know baseball. You're a smart guy. And then yeah, so that does it for game 1. That was the only amount of happiness that we had, because then we're moving on to game 2, which Phillies lost 9-4. I didn't write it down for some reason, but I think it was 9-4, 9-3, one of them, 9-3, 4-8. It was neither. So, Nola started, went 5 2/3, 9 hits, 4 earned runs, no walks, 6 strikeouts. And I know what I said in the last podcast about, being worried. He looked better, but again, the 6th inning happened and he hits a wall. Cannot get out of the 6th inning. I don't understand what it is. I don't know if he's gassed already. I don't know but it's every year with him. Every year he hits the 6th inning or the 5th inning or somewhere in the middle, and he just hits a wall. Can't locate his pitches, leaves stuff up in the zone, hangs curveballs. Like, it's, I mentioned the title of the episode, Death Taxes and Aaron Nola choking in the 6th inning. Like, I'm not, like, I don't know how to feel about this, because I don't want to contradict myself. That's the last thing I want to do, because I said get me to mid-May, and if these pitchers are still not performing, then I'm going to be a little worried. But right now, I am a little worried about Aaron Nola. As I yawn, my apologies, professional. Anyway, I am a little worried about Aaron Nola. his stuff just doesn't like explode like it usually does. And I don't know if that's just fatigue from last year. He hasn't gotten to the sixth inning, or excuse me, through the sixth inning yet in a start this year. So I don't know. I'm putting a pin in it to about the Nola slander so far this year. Like I don't know where I'm at. I'm feeling very mixed things. He hit two walls in this game. He hit a wall in the third and then a wall in the sixth. Could not get out of the sixth. But scoring wise, you had John Birdie solo home run in the third. And then you had Jorge Soler had an RBI double in the sixth. Yoli Gurriel RBI single in the sixth. And inning should have ended there. Nola struck out Segura on a pitch that was in the zone, not right at the knees, a little above the knees, perfectly placed pitch. Umpire misses the call, and then Segura hits a ball up the middle, leads to another run. Or excuse me, he walks Segura, then leads to another run. And there just needs to be consequences for umpires missing these calls. And I get it's the human element of the game, but part of me thinks that, like, if you could I don't know what kind of process you would have, because obviously these calls are all what's the word I'm looking for? Subjective, I guess. But if you have like a panel of people and they all vote yes, this umpire missed this call, and this is the results of it. Say if it's giving up runs, doing this, doing that, maybe they should be penalized or fined. But I don't know. And the counter argument to that, and Matt Hartman brought it up, is you're a big league pitcher. Like, yes, if you get screwed, that happens. Man up, get out of the inning anyway. So I don't know. I'm kind of torn with that, but regardless, the sixth inning rolls around. It's 4-0 at this point. Should be 3-0, and that's keynote here. It should be 3-0 Marlins going into the sixth inning. Instead, it's 4. Kyle Schwarber leads off the sixth with a home run. Stott then had a 2 RBI single, but then another base running error. He gets thrown out at first, and the rally ends there. 4-3, Phillies are trailing. If that umpire makes that call there, the inning's over. Phillies tie the game, and who knows if Brogdon goes in the next inning. It just infuriates me that happened. And yes, I understand baseball happens and whatever, but it annoyed me. And then everything kind of unraveled in the seventh and eighth, in the eighth inning, where Andrew Bellotti was pitching, and eventually the Bellotti streak was going to break. Bellotti only went 2/3 of an inning, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, no walk, and a strikeout. Jazz Chisholm had an RBI. Luis Arraez hit for the cycle in this game, and that is my main note of this series. Is I hate Luis Arraez so much. I hate throwing to it. I hate pitching to him. I hate seeing his stupid face in the batter's box. I hate the stupid free where he just stands there in the first pitch. He did it like 6 times. Like, I despise this man so much. But damn it, I respect him. But I hate him. He's now on the list of Philly killers. You have Ryan Braun, Freddie Freeman, who is another? Miguel Rojas. Thank God he's not on the Marlins. Jesus, can you imagine if the Phillies had to play with Miguel Rojas and Luis Arraez? Might as well just sit out the game and just gave all 3 games to the Marlins. Now Luis Arraez joins that list. Yeah, it was not a lot went well for the Phillies in this game. Yeah, but it is what it is. Like, it's one of the games where they fought back a little, but then the bullpen just kind of let them down. And I'm not throwing away anything with Bellotti. I think it was just bound to come to an end eventually, his scoreless streak, and that transitioned us perfectly into game number 3, a game in which wrapped up like 25 minutes ago. The Phillies lost 3-2. Really annoying. Very, very frustrating game. But hey, we're gonna talk about it, as that almost goes right into my penis. But it's so Stott batting leadoff again. Love it. I said it once. I'll say it again until I'm blue in the face. Bryson Stott needs to continue to bat leadoff. Had another hit, 12-game hitting streak to start the year. Bless him. Phillies had first and third in the first inning, followed by 3 straight outs with, 3, 4. Not good. Not ideal. But Wheeler looked closer to himself. Like, I'm much less worried about Wheeler returning the form than I am Nola. Wheeler kind of lost control a little bit in the 5th inning, but then came out again for the 6th and looked solid. So I feel much better about Zach Wheeler. I feel like every single start he's gotten better and closer to himself than Nola has. So it was good to see Wheeler 6 innings, 2 hits, 1 earned run, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Like, you can't really be mad at that. That's exactly what you expect out of Zach Wheeler. Castellanos continues to impress me. Had another double in this game. Marsh had an RBI single, Stott an RBI double. It was just a solid game, and like, it should have been a 2-1 Phillies win. You bring in Jose Alvarado in the 7th, which I did not agree with. I felt like it should have been Dominguez in the 7th and Alvarado in the 8th, because you have Chisholm and Arise due up in the 8th inning. So to go to Alvarado in the 7th, I didn't fully understand it, and I still don't. And I don't know if Rob Thompson's going to justify that decision. I hated it in the moment, and I hate it now, and I'm going to hate it until the first pitch tomorrow. I just think to stretch Alvarado 2 innings when you could have just went Dominguez in the 7th, and then if stuff got hairy, have him come in to be the fireman. I just don't fully get that, but I'm not the manager. So Alvarado went an inning and a third, 2 hits, 1 earned run, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. The earned run was a Jorge Soler solo home run in the 8th inning, which, of course. And then Dominguez went 2/3, a hit, and that was it. Soto really pitched well, had 3 strikeouts in an inning and a third. Like, what more can you ask for? Craig Kimbrell, 2/3 of an inning, 1 hit, and a strikeout. He was hitting like 97, which was great to see. But you went to extra innings. You had the ghost runner on, and of course they play they play De La Cruz to pull, and of course he hits it to the right side, and Clemens could have made a play. And I'm not saying he could have. I'm saying Clemens was here and the ball was here. Like, there was no way. So very extremely super duper annoying. Yeah. Now I think this might be a new segment. It's called Pache Slander. I already went in on Christian Pache a little bit, but why not continue? Because I hate him. I think okay. Let me collect myself first. Okay. All right, I'm ready to go. Christian Pache has done nothing but hurt this team in his very short 11 game, actually, tenured in a Philadelphia Phillies uniform. He has had 0 plate discipline. He's had base running mistakes. He's had blunders in the outfield. I just don't understand why Rob Thompson continues to roll him out against lefties. Yes, against lefties. I don't get it. I really don't. And now we get to yet another instance of Pache being up in a big spot. You have the ghost runner on second, Edmundo Sosa in the 10th, going up against Puck. Your goal, as if I'm the manager of any Major League Baseball team and I'm going into the 10th inning, my first player is bunting, especially when you have Bryson Stott on deck, who is one of the hottest hitters in baseball, and Trey Turner, who has been and will continue to be one of the best pure hitters in baseball. So to not bunt in that situation, not only to not bunt in that situation, but to swing at the very first pitch you see. What are we doing? Like, come on, dude. First pitch swinging against a guy who has been leaving curveballs up in the zone, or leading sliders, whatever his off speed is, leading up in the zone. Not only that, you don't even square. What are you trying to do? I don't know if he missed a sign from Topper. I don't know if he just said, screw it, I'm going to swing because I had a double last night. I don't care what it is. You need to bunt in that situation. And maybe, just maybe, with his speed, he gets on, and then whatever happens. Stott hits a ball up the middle, tie the game, and then go first to third again for Turner. I don't know. Who knows what happens in that inning? But I have the exact text exchange between me and Matt Saporsky. I said, if Pache isn't bunting, I will burn down Citizens Bank Bar. And I said, if Pache hits a game-winning home run, I will buy a custom Pache jersey. Like, I was going to go into the store, Pache 19, and buy it. And then he swings at the first pitch and broken bat, little dinker to third base. I said, are you serious right now? Is your mind not going, okay, I have good speed. They're playing in a little bit, but that's good because it leaves third base open. So all I need to do is just lay one down. The runner was off. You know, you get a sizable lead with that runner. Sosa has great speed. So what are you doing in that instance, Pache? I don't know whose fault it was that he was swinging in that situation. I don't know if his topper telling him to do it, Dusty telling him to do it, or he just said, screw both of them. I'm going to do what I want. I don't get it. I truly don't understand it. So I never, ever, for the foreseeable future, want to see Christian Pache in the starting lineup. I can't do it anymore. He's played there. He's had his shot. He's blown every single opportunity for me as a fan. And if I was the manager, you have given me nothing offensively for me to justify putting you out there every fifth day or whatever, or however often they see a lefty. And Marsh has done everything to prove to you why you, Brandon Marsh, are the everyday center fielder for the Philadelphia Phillies. Not Pache. We don't need a tandem out there. We're not rolling out Odubel Herrera and Matt Vierling again. Brandon Marsh has shown you time and time and time and time again in the playoffs last year, in spring training this year, in a short sample size this year, how good he can be against left-handed pitching. So there is no reason, no excuse to roll out Christian Pache in the starting lineup against left-handed pitching. None at all. So until that stops happening, and until you have a little faith in the guy to hit lefties, you know, because look at Stott. They were doing the same thing with Stott. Stott's hitting 50 points more against lefties in his career than he is righties. But yes, let's play, and I love Edmundo Sosa so much. I love him. Let's play Sosa at second, or let's bat Harrison against a lefty because Stott can't hit lefties. And guess what? Topper said, Stott, you know what? We're going to try you against lefties. And guess what? He did well. And guess what? He plays every single day now. So why can't Brandon Marsh do the same thing? I don't understand it. I don't get what the vendetta against Brandon Marsh is. Just let him play out there. You know? If he sucks, then he sucks. Like, I don't know what else you need me to do. If he sucks, then you just go back to putting Pache. I guess you're getting the same amount of production. You need to start Marsh every single day. I don't get heated often on here, but Jesus, I can't do it with Christian Pache anymore. I'm so excited for this new segment, Pache Slander. I can't do it. I can't take this team seriously. And I understand that injuries happen, and injuries are happening, and there's no need for Christian Pache to be playing almost every day in center field when Brandon Marsh has proven time and time again that he can hit lefties. So they're facing Lodolo, who shoved it up their keister on Saturday tomorrow, and so help me God. So help me God, Rob Thompson. If Christian Pache is in the starting lineup tomorrow after the crap he just pulled, I'm done. I'm done. I'm done taking you seriously as a big league manager. I am. I'm done. Figure it out. Like, put your best players out on the field. No wonder you're 4-8 because you're obsessed with having a loaded righty lineup against the lefty. And yes, I understand that and I get that but Marsh has proven he can hit lefties. Schwarber has primarily been the DH. So, but I don't know how good Jake Cave could be. Better than Josh Harrison, you know? I hate Luis Arise. I just okay. This thus concludes the first edition and hopefully the last of Christian Pache Slander, of Pache Slander. Some more keynotes from this game. Jose Alvarado, I was texting my one friend Blake, said he can see Alvarado having a Blake Trinan-esque season. And for those of you who don't know, I forget what year it is. I think it was 2018. Blake Trinan played for the Oakland Athletics. And at that time, the A's were actually competitive, which I understand. You're like, what? Actually competitive? What? You can never believe that. Yeah, it was 2018. He pitched in 68 games, 80 and a third innings, and had a 0.78 ERA. I absolutely can see Jose Alvarado doing that. Yes, he gave up the home run today, but he's not going to be perfect all year. I can absolutely see Alvarado having that type of season. His stuff is just unreal. It's not fair. So I'm excited to, and yeah, he gave up the run. Like Hader gave up a run last year. I know it's the second time I've used Hader, but he's like one of the best closers. The only guy I can think of. Presley in the Phillies Cardinals wild card game, he was dominant all year and then gave up all those runs. So it happens. Like yes, it sucks, but I'm not going to be like, oh my god, I've got to give up a run. We got to freak out. No, we're fine. You know who I am very upset with? JT Realmuto. What are we doing? Nothing butters me up more than seeing JT Realmuto with a runner on first and third and one out. And I'm like, oh, double play, easiest prediction of all time is JT's hitting into a double play here. He has been dreadful at the plate. Like someone needs, and you think, and this is a Matt Saporsky joke, so shout out to Matt. COVID ended officially. Like the government put out a thing and it's like, oh, COVID's over. You think he'd be celebrating right now, right? Like, holy crow, JT. You stink right now. And yes, players go through slumps. I get that. But he's just a hole right now in the lineup. And I'm batting him. Honestly, I'm batting him like 7th or 8th at this point. I don't know if that's harsh. But you need to have Bohm up there. You need to have Cassie's been great up there. Like if you go Stott, Turner, Schwarber, Casty? Yeah, screw it. Stott, Turner, Schwarber, Casty, Bohm. That's your top 5 right there. Without a doubt, your top 5. Do you bat JT 6th? 7th, maybe, depending on who you're rolling out there. I'm batting Marsh ahead of JT at this point. Like I don't know. And I get like players go through slumps and he went through the same thing last year and then turned it around. So I'm not worried about the regression of JT Realmuto. Defensively, he's still the best catcher in baseball. I think JT is still the best catcher in baseball. It's just he's kind of in a slump right now. Luckily, there's guys who are doing fine. Marsh, Stott, Casty, Bohm. Guys are hitting well. So, yeah, not too happy about. Sorry, phone's going off a little bit. Professionalism. So yeah, I'm not too excited about JT, but what are you gonna do? Players go through slumps. Just figure it out. Just guys keep hitting. So another edition of Keynotes. I don't know why I'm doing this a lot when I'm talking about segments, but it makes me excited. Keynotes from this series. I have 3. Luis Arise is mortal enemy number 1. in this town right now. Every time he come up to the plate, I'm like, I'm at this point, like whenever we face the Marlins, I don't care who's on base. I don't care if the bases are loaded. I'm walking Luis Ariz. I'm just putting him on and then pitching to everybody around him. That's it. He just kills. He killed us this series. So if I'm Rob Thompson, I'm like, walk him. Just put him on. We'll face the rest of your lineup, but I'm not letting that guy beat you. And it reminds me, was it 2017 or 2018? Maybe even earlier. It was a series between the Nationals and the Cubs. And Bryce Harper, when he was on the Nationals, was walked like 8 times in that series because Joe Madden was like, I'm not letting you beat me. So good things. I'm walking him at this point. Like I don't care. I'm walking him. You have Bryson Stott is right now my favorite player on the team right now. I think everything he's doing has been incredible. Doesn't strike out, hits the ball, plays great defense. Like everybody loves him. He has the walk-up music and everybody's singing it, the A-OK. Like I love what Bryson Stott's doing, and I love the fact that Topper rewarded him by putting him in the leadoff spot, realized who his best hitter was and his best opportunity to get guys on base for the people behind him, and move Stott to that spot. So I love that. I love that move. I dig it. I think it's great. I think it's incredible. Yeah. And my other point I brought up already, which is Matt Strom this year's Ranger Suarez. We'll see. So, next series, we have a 4-game series. We're traveling to Cincinnati to take on the Reds again. The Phillies took 2 out of 3. Now, so the pitching matchups tomorrow, we have Bailey Falter going up against Nick Lodolo. We have Taijuan Walker going up against Connor Overton. We have Matt Strom against Graham Ashcraft and Aaron Nola against Luis Cessa. So very good pitching matchups in this. I'm excited to see what another Bailey Falter start's going to look like. He's been really, really good in his first 2 starts. So I'm very excited to see what he's going to do against this Reds team. Nick Lodolo, we just got to be patient with him. Try to work up his pitch count and get to the bullpen because it worked out last time. So that should be the game plan going in. Taijuan Walker, he's been fine. The walks have been a big issue in his first 2 starts. So if he can limit walks, kind of limit the long ball a little bit, we can see. Hopefully he doesn't hit another speed bump like he did in the 4th inning of his last start against the Reds. So we'll see how that pans out. Matt Strom, see if he can continue another solid start for the Phils. I hope so. It's going to be tough in that ballpark. It's a very hitter-friendly ballpark. And yes, what am I saying? He's pitched in will pitch in 3 of the most hitter-friendly ballparks in baseball, in Yankee Stadium, Citizens Bank Park, and Great American. So we'll see how he is. We didn't face Graham Ashcraft in the last series. He is also part of that 3-headed beast that the Reds have going right now, with in addition to Hunter Green and Lodolo. So very interested to see what he's going to bring to the table. And then Nola versus Cessa in the final game. So we'll see what Nola can do, if he can be back to that Nola that we know and dominate and shut me up and shut Philadelphia up and say, yes, this is the guy you want to give $200+ million to. But he's got to prove it. So 3 of 4. I have a singular note about this series, 3 of 4. In order for me to buy back into this team, 3 of 4, because I'm losing hope right now. It's still very early, I know, but I'm just frustrated because I know how good this team can be, and they have been good, but their situational hitting sucks. They're hitting with runners in scoring position, sucks. They have no issues getting hits. I think they have the 2nd highest average in the league right now, but they can't get the runs across. They can't get them across. Come on, man. We're so close. And then we had a Harper update. A very interesting quote from Rob Thompson. A reporter asked him, do you know when Harper will be back? He said, yes, I have a date. Well, he said like around. He said, yeah, I have a date, but I'm not telling. I think Harper is going to be back in a month. I do. This guy is just healing like an absolute animal. It's not human, but he was taking like live BP and seemed fine. He was also there's stuff happening upstairs. I apologize for that. There's anyway. Um Harper had uh a first baseman's mitt on. I'm sorry, I'm struggling. I'm listening to what's going on up there, so I'm kind of all over the place right now. Harper was seen having a first baseman's mitt on, so it's very interesting to see what that's gonna be like if they're gonna stick him at first. Maybe I don't know if he's just practicing because he's also seen at third base during some other time, like I think before he got hurt or something. But anyway, we'll see. Known first baseman Bryce Harper. We'll see if it sticks. I mean, if you want to roll out Casty every day in right field and Harper be your everyday first baseman, who am I to stop you? I'm sure he could do it. But that's going to wrap it up for me. We're going to be back on Sunday. Yeah. Yeah, we'll be back on Sunday. Um, we'll be talking about 3 or 4 from the Reds, maybe even a sweep. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Follow all of the links, in the description and everything. And thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.